Ladies and gentlemen, today I wish to share with you a revelation so profound, yet so simple, that it has the power to transform your life in ways you never thought possible. It is the understanding of a single moment, a brief, seemingly fleeting instant of consciousness, a 30-second snap that can unlock immediate financial miracles. Not someday, not in the distant future, but now in this very moment, if only you understand the law that governs all manifestation and allow yourself to enter into the experience of it fully. Many people have been taught to work tirelessly for money, to struggle endlessly, to hope against hope that fortune might smile upon them. They wait for circumstances to change, for opportunities to appear, or for someone outside themselves to grant them the abundance they desire. Yet the truth, the hidden truth, is that all riches, all prosperity, all financial miracles are born within the mind first. They are the offspring of imagination, of feeling, of consciousness, before they ever appear in the outer world. You see, the external world is but a reflection of the inner state, a mirror that faithfully depicts what you dwell upon, what you assume, and what you persist in imagining as real. The snap I speak of is not a complex ritual. It is not a formula that must be memorized or recited. It is the recognition, the sudden and deliberate turning of attention from the outer circumstances to the inner reality that you choose. It is 30 seconds of your conscious awareness saying, I am now in possession of that which I desire. I feel it, I live it, I own it in my imagination. That is all. 30 seconds. Yet in those 30 seconds, something miraculous occurs. Your consciousness, which has always been the creative agent of your experience, is now deliberately directed. It is no longer wandering, hoping, fearing, or doubting. It is purposefully imagining and feeling the reality that is to manifest. It is as if a key has been turned, unlocking a door behind which lie the treasures you have long sought. Many ask, how can something so brief, so seemingly insignificant, create such extraordinary results? The answer lies in the law of consciousness, the law that governs all reality. The outer world cannot create your wealth. It cannot grant you the experience of abundance. It can only reflect what you have first allowed within. Your imagination, your feeling, your assumption of reality is the forge upon which the outer world is shaped. Consider for a moment every invention, every fortune, every manifestation of wealth that has ever existed began not as a coin in a hand or a note on a ledger, but as a living, vibrant scene in the mind of someone who imagined it as real. It was assumed, not doubted. It was known, not questioned. And when that person persisted in the feeling of already having it, the outer world began to yield. The snap is the conscious, deliberate embrace of that same principle. In 30 seconds, you can shift from seeing the lack to feeling the fullness, from imagining scarcity to embodying abundance, from hoping for a miracle to living in the miracle that already exists in consciousness. Close your eyes and picture for a moment that which you most desire in the realm of finance. Perhaps it is money, a large sum you need immediately. Perhaps it is a new source of income that appears without effort. Perhaps it is the release from debt, the sudden opening of opportunities that change your financial life forever. Whatever it is, do not imagine it as a wish, as something distant, or as something you hope to acquire. Instead, see it, feel it, live it as already accomplished. Enter fully into the scene. Feel the relief, the joy, the excitement, the empowerment that comes with the manifestation of your desire. Do not let your mind wander to how it will come or when it will appear. Do not question the process. Simply feel the reality of the fulfilled desire. That is the snap. It is the deliberate cessation of doubt and the immediate assumption of the end. 30 seconds of this mental, emotional activity can set in motion forces that your ordinary mind cannot comprehend, forces that will conspire to bring your imagination into physical form. I have seen countless times people hesitate, waiting for conditions to be perfect, waiting for external validation, waiting for signs that the universe is ready to grant their desires. They wait for a check in the mail, for a call from a client, for a bonus at work. Yet in their waiting, they overlook the truth. All waiting is unnecessary. The wealth you seek is not outside you, it is within you. It is your consciousness that must be aligned with the reality you desire. The snap is the shortcut, the acceleration of manifestation, the direct pathway to financial miracles. In 30 seconds, if you willfully enter into the scene of fulfillment, the universe, or more accurately, your own subconscious, is awakened to the reality you assume. Your subconscious does not argue, does not reason, does not question. It accepts as fact that which you impress upon it, and it moves relentlessly to bring your inner assumption into the outer world. Imagine holding in your hands, right now, a sum of money you have been wishing for. Imagine the feeling of knowing that all your financial needs are met, that abundance flows freely to you, that doors previously closed swing open with ease. Feel the security, the gratitude, the relief, the excitement. Let your heart race with the joy of immediate financial provision. Do not think of how it comes or why it has not arrived yet. Simply exist in the experience. Let every cell in your body resonate with the reality of the fulfilled desire. That is the snap. That is the moment of creation. That is the instant when the seed of your financial miracle is planted in the fertile soil of consciousness. And then, with persistence, with daily repetition, with unwavering assumption, your world will begin to reflect this inner reality. Opportunities will present themselves. Ideas will flow. Synchronicities will appear. People, events, circumstances, all will conspire to bring you that which you have imagined. I must warn you, however, that doubt is the enemy of the snap. Doubt is the silent thief that steals from you the miracles you deserve. Doubt whispers, it is not possible. You must wait. This cannot be real. When doubt enters, the snap is weakened, delayed, or even nullified. That is why the practice requires not only imagination, but feeling, not only visualization, but conviction, not only mental pictures, but living experience. 30 seconds of unwavering assumption, of complete emotional immersion, is more powerful than hours of anxious planning, endless strategizing, or desperate hoping. The mind, when focused, when convinced, when fully engaged in the reality of desire, commands unseen forces to arrange themselves in alignment with that reality. Consider the example of someone in debt, someone burdened with financial worry. They see their bills, they feel the pressure, they sense the lack. In that state, the outer world mirrors the inner state. More bills, more stress, more difficulty. But if, for 30 seconds, they deliberately snap into the feeling of financial freedom, of immediate provision, of abundance pouring into their life, the subconscious accepts this as fact. The imagination, coupled with emotion, becomes the seed of transformation. Money begins to appear. Opportunities arise. Ideas for income manifest. Relief floods the consciousness, and the outer world catches up to the inner state. It is not magic. It is not luck. It is law. The law that you create your world from within. The snap is simply the conscious recognition and exercise of this law. Now, you may ask, why 30 seconds? Why not a longer or shorter period? The answer is that 30 seconds is the moment of decisive choice, the moment when the mind fully embraces the assumption, the moment when doubt is suspended and faith is complete. It is the perfect interval for the subconscious to accept the new reality. It is long enough to impress the imagination and short enough to maintain intensity. In those 30 seconds, there is a complete shift of consciousness, a full surrender to the reality desired, a total immersion in the end state. And the effects are immediate. Some may notice changes within hours, others within days, but all who practice this snap with sincerity and intensity find that the universe bends in accordance with their inner state. And what must you do after the snap? You must persist. You must continue to assume the reality of your desire throughout the day, not with anxious striving, not with nervous planning, but with confident expectation, with gratitude, with the sense of already having. The snap is the key, the initial unlocking of the door, but persistence in assumption keeps the door open and allows the miracle to flow continuously. You may be tempted to look at your current circumstances and feel discouraged. You may see the bills, the debts, the lack, and think the snap is insufficient. Do not be fooled. The outer world is not the measure of your reality. Your reality is measured by your imagination, your feeling, your assumption. Persist in the inner reality, and the outer will inevitably follow. Financial miracles are not the reward of effort, nor the result of external conditions. They are the natural outcome of an inner state fully realized. When you snap, when you fully assume the end, the outer world is compelled to reflect that assumption. I urge you, therefore, to make this practice a part of your daily life. 30 seconds in the morning, 30 seconds at midday, 30 seconds before sleep. Every time you do so, feel as if your desire has already been fulfilled. Live in that moment fully, completely, joyfully. Watch your consciousness shift. And with it, watch your financial world transform. Some will ask, can this work for any financial situation? Can it truly bring miracles? The answer is a resounding yes. The law of consciousness is impartial, unwavering, universal. It responds to the assumption you impress upon it, whether your desire is modest or immense. Whether you need a small sum today or a fortune tomorrow, the principle remains unchanged. The snap works because it aligns your conscious and subconscious mind, because it impresses reality upon the field of infinite possibilities, because it removes doubt and fear and replaces them with the certainty of fulfillment. And there is joy in this practice. There is freedom. There is liberation from the endless cycles of worry, stress, and lack. When you live in the snap, you experience the thrill of creation itself. You are no longer at the mercy of circumstances. You are the master of your inner world, and therefore the master of your outer world. The snap also teaches another truth, that wealth is not simply a matter of numbers, accounts, or material possessions. Wealth is a feeling. It is a state of consciousness. When you master this inner state, you master the experience of abundance in every form. Money flows because you are in harmony with the feeling of having it. Opportunities appear because you are aligned with the energy of provision. Doors open because you live in the experience of fulfillment. And all of this begins in 30 seconds. Friends, I want you to understand the simplicity of this miracle. It is not complicated. It is not mysterious. It is not reserved for the chosen few. It is available to anyone who willfully enters into the snap, anyone who willfully assumes the feeling of fulfilled desire, anyone who will persist in the inner reality regardless of what the senses tell them. Do not doubt that you can do this. Do not question the timing. Do not fear the process. 30 seconds of conscious assumption, 30 seconds of living in the end, 30 seconds of feeling abundance as real, and the door to financial miracles swings open. And once you have experienced it, once you have felt the inner reality manifesting, you will understand what countless successful people throughout history have known intuitively, that all wealth begins in consciousness, that all miracles are first imagined, and that the outer world inevitably reflects the inner world. So I invite you, starting now, to practice this snap. Close your eyes, breathe deeply, and imagine your financial desire fulfilled. Let the feeling saturate your body, your mind, your being. Let the certainty of its reality dissolve every trace of doubt. Let gratitude flow freely, as if the abundance is already yours. 30 seconds of this practice, repeated consistently, and you will witness the miraculous. You will see opportunities appear. You will feel inspiration to act. You will notice assistance arriving from unexpected sources. You will experience the thrill of creation as your imagination takes form in the world. And remember, the law is impartial. It responds not to struggle, not to fear, not to wishing, but to feeling, to assumption, to the inner conviction of reality already accomplished. 30 seconds of conscious alignment, 30 seconds of deliberate feeling, 30 seconds of fully inhabiting your desire, and the universe answers. The more you practice, the more powerful it becomes. Each snap strengthens your connection to the creative power within. Each snap reinforces your ability to assume, to imagine, to feel, to manifest. Each snap is a declaration to your consciousness that you are the master of your financial reality. And when you understand this, when you have fully internalized this, the ordinary life you once accepted as unchangeable transforms into a life of miracles, a life of abundance, a life where financial worries are replaced with financial freedom, where lack is replaced with plenty, where limitation is replaced with infinite possibility. In conclusion, though I hesitate to use the word conclusion because the practice is ongoing, the message is clear. Your financial miracles are only a snap away. 30 seconds of deliberate, conscious, emotional assumption is sufficient to awaken the forces of manifestation. It is sufficient to align your subconscious with your desire. It is sufficient to bring your imagination into physical reality. Do this now. Make it a practice. Trust the process. Feel the reality. Live the experience. And watch as the world responds to the power of your mind, as abundance flows effortlessly, as miracles become your everyday experience. The door is unlocked. The treasure is waiting. The snap is your key. Use it, embrace it, and step into the life of financial miracles you have always imagined. Remember, 30 seconds can change everything. 30 seconds can transform your financial reality. 30 seconds can turn dreams into lived experience. 30 seconds can awaken the creative power within you and release the miracles that are your natural inheritance. This is not theory. This is law. This is the path. This is the practice. And now, all that remains is for you to take that snap. Now, as you remain in this state of focused consciousness, I want you to notice something extraordinary. You are not merely imagining, you are creating. Every thought, every feeling, every inner picture you entertain is a seed planted in the fertile soil of your subconscious. And your subconscious, faithful and obedient, does not distinguish between what is imagined and what is physically present. To it, the scene you dwell upon is reality itself. Therefore, the intensity with which you imagine, the vividness of your feelings, the richness of your sensory experience, all determine the speed and completeness of your manifestation. It is in this awareness that the 30-second snap becomes a powerful catalyst. You see, most people underestimate the brevity required to transform their lives. They believe that miracles are a product of prolonged effort, of endless striving, of hours spent worrying over financial spreadsheets or planning strategies that may or may not succeed. Yet the truth is the opposite. The miracle lies in the precision of your focus, the certainty of your inner assumption, and the feeling of completion that you allow to saturate your being. 30 seconds is all it takes when it is lived fully, consciously, deliberately. During these 30 seconds, imagine not only the possession of wealth, but the effect it has on your life. See yourself opening the envelope that contains a financial gift. Feel the currency in your hands, hear the sounds of abundance arriving, sense the freedom and security it brings. Do not let your mind wander to how it came or how it will arrive. Simply exist in the reality of having it. When you practice this snap repeatedly, your consciousness becomes attuned to abundance. Your mind begins to recognize opportunities that you may have previously overlooked. Your intuition sharpens, guiding you toward actions, decisions, and relationships that accelerate your financial growth. You will notice that ideas flow more freely, that solutions appear where there was previously only confusion, that people seem to come into your life to assist you in ways that feel miraculous yet perfectly natural. And here is the subtle but profound truth. The outer world cannot give you this feeling. You cannot wait for a check, a transaction, a promotion, or a sudden windfall to experience the joy of financial freedom. That joy, that certainty, that inner relief must exist first. The snap is the doorway to that inner reality. And once you pass through it, the outer world is compelled to follow. Consider the state of those who live perpetually in lack. Their thoughts are consumed by worry, their imaginations dominated by fear, their feelings aligned with absence. The outer world, faithful mirror that it is, reflects this inner state in exact measure. They struggle endlessly, hoping for relief, yet it never comes because they are asking from a place of emptiness. The snap, however, inverts this dynamic. It says, I am already wealthy, I am already abundant, I am already free. In that declaration made real through feeling and vivid imagination, the law of consciousness moves into action. Your subconscious begins to orchestrate the outer world to match the inner reality. Synchronicities emerge. Unexpected sources of money appear. Opportunities arise as if from nowhere. Doors that seem closed swing open effortlessly. And you begin to understand a principle so profound yet so simple. The outer world is nothing but the echo of your inner state. Persist in the snap, and you persist in the reality of your choosing. Some may ask, what if I feel doubt creeping in? Doubt is the natural resistance of the conditioned mind. It will always attempt to question, to fear, to hesitate. Yet the moment you notice doubt, you gently return to the feeling of the fulfilled desire. Imagine it again. Feel it again. Immerse yourself fully once more. Doubt cannot withstand the intensity of a mind fully absorbed in its assumption. 30 seconds, repeated with unwavering attention, is more powerful than hours of worry or meticulous planning. It is not effort that manifests miracles. It is the deliberate assumption of the end. Now, imagine expanding this practice beyond 30 seconds. Imagine living in a constant state of snap, carrying the feeling of financial abundance throughout your day. Imagine greeting challenges with the knowing that all needs are already met, that all resources are already at hand, that the universe is aligned with your desire. Your actions become inspired, your decisions guided by clarity, your interactions infused with confidence. You will see that money, opportunities, and solutions no longer elude you. They flow naturally as a consequence of your inner state. And as you continue, you may notice a fascinating phenomenon. The very concept of struggle begins to fade. Struggle is the signal of resistance, the tension between desire and belief. The snap dissolves that tension by establishing belief first, by assuming the fulfillment, by living as though the desire is already realized. When the tension is removed, the path of least resistance opens, and miracles manifest effortlessly. Think now of the power you possess in a single moment. 30 seconds of deliberate attention, 30 seconds of full immersion in the reality you desire, can shift the trajectory of your life. The key is not to attempt to control the external world. The key is to master your inner world, to saturate your consciousness with the feeling of already having, to act from that reality rather than toward a hoped-for outcome. Many have misunderstood wealth as a series of external achievements, a higher salary, a profitable investment, a large bank balance. Yet true wealth is the feeling of sufficiency, the sense of freedom, the certainty that all is provided for. When you snap into this feeling, you do not simply attract money, you attract the experience of abundance in every form. Health, opportunity, relationships, inspiration, ideas, all begin to flow because the mind, now aligned with the reality of sufficiency, cannot be denied. You may think 30 seconds is too short, too trivial, too inconsequential. Yet it is precisely the brevity that creates intensity. When your mind knows it must focus entirely, when your attention is undivided, when your emotion saturates every fiber of your being, the creative forces respond with immediacy. The snap is the concentrated expression of desire, the distilled essence of imagination, the apex of intentional consciousness. And you can do this anywhere, anytime. In your car, in your room, in a quiet moment before sleep, you can close your eyes, take a breath, and enter fully into the reality you choose. Feel the money in your hands, hear the words of opportunity, sense the relief and freedom, and know that it is real. Persist, repeat, expand, and watch as the miracles unfold with increasing speed and complexity. And notice another subtle aspect. The more you feel abundance internally, the more effortless it becomes to live it externally. The mind and heart aligned with the feeling of prosperity attract situations, people, and opportunities that reflect that feeling. You will notice doors opening without effort, assistance arriving from unexpected quarters, ideas manifesting that provide immediate financial gain. This is the natural consequence of living as though your desire is fulfilled. Financial miracles do not require you to sacrifice, struggle, or wait. They require you to feel, to imagine, to assume. They require you to experience the end in your consciousness first, to create it internally before it appears externally. The 30-second snap is the vehicle for this creation. Imagine now holding not only one form of wealth, but an abundance of multiple forms: financial, emotional, relational, creative, and spiritual. All begin with the same principle. All begin with assumption. All begin with feeling. 30 seconds in full immersion is sufficient to plant the seed of any desire. Persist, and you will see the harvest. Some may question, how do I maintain this feeling when the outer world seems contrary? This is precisely why practice is essential. You return again and again to the snap. You re-enter the feeling. You saturate your mind with the inner reality. The outer world may present illusions of lack, but your inner world is sovereign. Your inner world determines the experience of life. And when the inner world is aligned with abundance, the outer world must eventually conform, and it will conform in ways more miraculous than your imagination could anticipate. You may receive exactly what you desired, or something even greater. Opportunities may appear that were previously unimaginable. Help may arrive from unexpected sources. Resources you never knew existed may flow toward you, all because your inner assumption is established, maintained, and saturated with feeling. And as you continue to practice the snap, you will notice another effect, a transformation not only in your financial reality, but in your perception of life itself. You become a creator, a magnet for miracles, a living demonstration of the power of consciousness. You see not scarcity, not limitation, not struggle. You see possibility, abundance, and divine orchestration at work in every moment. You begin to recognize the miraculous in the mundane, the opportunity in every situation, the provision in every circumstance. And with each snap, you strengthen your ability to create, to manifest, to live fully in the reality of your choosing. Your imagination, once idle or underutilized, becomes the most potent instrument in your life. Your feeling, once swayed by fear or doubt, becomes the engine of manifestation. Your attention, once scattered, becomes the laser focus that directs the infinite power within. And the world responds faithfully, inevitably, beautifully, because it is bound by the law of your consciousness. 30 seconds, repeated experience lived, is the doorway. 30 seconds, felt fully, is the spark that ignites the engine of miracles. 30 seconds, consciously assumed, is enough to bend the universe to your desire. As you continue, imagine the cumulative effect. 30 seconds repeated daily, weekly, monthly, annually. The financial miracles accumulate. The sense of abundance deepens. The flow of opportunity, wealth, and inspiration becomes constant, reliable, undeniable. You will find yourself no longer reacting to the world but creating it. No longer hoping for provision but living in it. No longer waiting for miracles but experiencing them. And in this state, you understand the ultimate secret. Abundance is not something to be sought outside. Abundance is the natural consequence of living in the feeling of it, of assuming it, of experiencing it within first. And once you internalize this truth, once you practice the snap consistently, you realize that the power to transform your financial life has always been in your hands, always in your mind, always in your heart. It is yours to claim, yours to live, yours to experience. And so I encourage you again and again, practice this snap, 30 seconds, feel it fully, immerse yourself completely, assume the end, live the reality, repeat, persist. Watch as the miraculous unfolds around you with the effortless inevitability of a law that cannot be denied, a truth that cannot be resisted, a principle that governs all creation and all manifestation. And now, my friends, as we come to this moment, understand this. The power to create financial miracles has always been within you. It is not in the banks, not in the stock market, not in luck or chance. It is in your consciousness, in your imagination, in the way you feel, and assume the reality you desire. The 30-second snap is more than a practice. It is a key, a doorway, a declaration of your sovereignty over your own life. When you live as if your desires are already fulfilled, when you feel them as real, when you immerse yourself fully in the experience of abundance, the universe responds with absolute fidelity. Nothing outside you can stop what you allow within. So I urge you, practice it, feel it, assume it, live it. Do not wait. Do not hesitate. Do not doubt. 30 seconds is all it takes to ignite the miracle, to command the unseen forces, to open the doors that have always been waiting for you. Claim your wealth. Claim your freedom. Claim your miracles. They are yours, not someday, not maybe, but now. The moment is yours. The snap is yours. And your life will never be the same again.